Howdy friends, I wanted to do a video for you guys today of 5 guns that I wish I never would have bought. And the purpose of this video is to hopefully save you guys some money. Maybe save you guys from purchasing firearms that don't really have a specific use and that might end up just living in your safe for pretty much the duration of the time that you own them. If you get any value from this video, before we get rolling, please subscribe to the channel and or check out our partner at Barbell Apparel. Barbell's been a partner with us for a long time here at 307 Project, and they make awesome apparel for people like me and you that like to get outside, get after it, get on the range, whatever it is. I've got the covert shorts on today, which is a great summertime range or work short for you guys that still work with your hands and get out and get after it. So Barbell Apparel, you can find them at barbellapparel.com, and that is one way that you can support the channel here, is by supporting the companies that help us make all of this happen. So without further ado, let's get into talking about 5 guns that I wish I never would have bought, like this one. The funny thing about all 5 of these guns that we're going to talk about today, they're all really good guns, man. Every last one of them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just, there's just not a lot of use for them. That's really the only hit on them. Or maybe there's a better option to fill that gap or the use that that firearm is supposed to be filling in our, you know, whatever, our day-to-day carry on the range, whatever it may be. And this is the first one we're going to start off with. This is a Mossberg 590 12 gauge. Now, I think that maybe they call this the Shockwave. I'm not sure, but I don't know about you guys. One of my favorite movies when I was growing up was Terminator 2. All right, and I think that if you were a fan of Terminator 2, you just have something in your heart that wants to own a sawed-off pistol grip shotgun. Now, the Terminator's shotgun was a lever action, which makes it a little cooler than this Mossberg. But nonetheless, man, there's something about these old sawed-off pistol grip shotguns that are really cool. It's cool to have it in your truck. It's cool, you know, it looks mean. It's got all the cool features, got the shells on the side right here. But in reality, this shotgun right here is really not good for much of anything except as a breaching tool, to be quite honest with you. And it really doesn't do the job of breaching as good as it should, because it's missing one of the most important features of a breaching shotgun, which is kind of a ported section on the end of the barrel to give you some standoff from where the shot comes out of the barrel and whatever it is you're trying to breach, most likely a door frame, deadbolt, something like that, all right? So we don't even have that. We do have some serrated edges around the barrel there to give us some grip if we are using this to breach, but it would be nice to have that standoff to make this really a specific breaching shotgun. The reality is, though, I'm not going to be doing much breaching these days, and neither are you, unless you're just having fun out on the range and, you know, making cool videos. Other than that, this shotgun, I mean, beyond, I don't know, man, I'm going to say 5, 10 yards. It is really difficult to hit anything with this shotgun. It has a top rail on it. Maybe you could mount some sort of red dot on it and be able to hold it out in front of you and hit a little better. But as it is configured right now, it's almost impossible to aim. And unless I'm standing from here to the cameraman, which is about 3 yards, there's a good chance that I'm not going to hit center mass with this unit right here, all right? So although it looks really cool, and if you're a redneck like me, you want something like this in your truck because it makes you feel like the Terminator, I'm just going to straight up tell you, there's a lot better options than this. And so that's why this shotgun mostly just sits in my safe. it was kind of a waste of money, and I do wish I would have never bought it. Sweet, number 2 in the lineup. This little unit right here, a Ruger 22 Charger. Now, the reason that I bought this gun right here, and really the only use I've ever found for it, was back when I owned coonhounds, and I was running through the woods all night, and we were shooting, you know, coons because we were coon hunting. And I didn't want to carry a big full-length 10-22 rifle because it'd get snagged on vines or all that stuff. So I actually rigged me a little sling to this thing, and I would throw this thing on my back. And a raccoon is a pretty big target to hit up in a tree. So it actually worked well for that. Beyond that, I have not been able to find any use at all for this 10-22 Charger. Like I told you, all of these guns are great guns. I'm a huge fan of the 22 caliber firearms. The 22 is just an awesome, fun gun to get out and plink around with. It's a great caliber to hunt small game with. It's a great caliber to start young people or start new shooters on because of the low noise, basically no recoil. So great platform, great action, great function in the 10-22, and this Ruger 22 Charger has the same action as the 10-22. But in reality, it's not a pistol. I can't carry it in a holster, and it's not a rifle. So I really don't have enough stability with this 10-20 or with this 22 Charger to hunt other small game species, whether it be rabbit, squirrel, or even to take fun, accurate shots out on the range. It's just, there's just not enough stability built into this because we cannot shoulder this thing to be able to take highly accurate shots. And again, it can't go in a holster. It's got to be slung somewhere, although it doesn't have the full-length buttstock and stuff like that. I almost wish it did, a foldable, some sort of, and maybe they make one for these, a foldable buttstock or something to go on it. But for me, once I got rid of my coonhounds and I wasn't running around in the woods, I tried to take this thing squirrel hunting a few times, and I just realized it wasn't accurate enough to be shooting squirrels up in tall trees. And therefore, it pretty much just sits in my safe all the time. It looks cool. It's kind of weird. Usually when things look cool and they're weird, they don't really have a purpose. And I believe that's true about the Ruger 22 Charger. Wish I would have never bought it. All right, here's one that you probably didn't expect to see in the lineup of the 5 guns that I wish I would have never bought. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Glock handguns. Just across the board, man, they have so many advantages over other manufacturers, and you know, they're the Toyota of handguns. They're the workhorse. They're gonna work when you need them. They're gonna be there, and tons of other reasons to like Glock other than just reliability, but that's one of the main things. This is the Glock 43X. This is a handgun I wish I would have never bought. The reason is, if I am going to carry a compact handgun, the Glock 43X is really not, it's not compact enough to make it worth it to carry a compact handgun with a low round count in a magazine. These are single stack. I know they make larger mags in the newer models of this, double stack mags, but nonetheless, one of the times that I want a really compact handgun, a small handgun, is when I'm out backpacking or I'm carrying my rucksack. And I usually will carry that pistol in the hip belt pouch of my, my backpack. This Glock 43X, because it has the longer grip, which gives you the advantage of getting a better grip, but because it has the longer grip, will not fit in my hip belt pouch. So instead of this, what I wish I would have bought is a standard Glock 43, not the 43X, all right? For me, It's a small handgun, but it's not as small as I can get it. And when I want a small handgun, I want a small handgun. And this one is just a little bit too much when I want to put it in places that something like a Glock 19 isn't going to fit, or maybe it's going to be too bulky. All right, so the 43X, for me, I would not buy this handgun again. I would buy the Glock 43, which has the smaller grip. Probably, I don't know, I think it may have a shorter slide. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it has the smaller grip, little smaller magazine. It tucks everything in a lot nicer, a lot tighter. And when you want to carry a small handgun, you actually have a small handgun that you can fit in these tiny pockets and places, or wear it concealed and it has a very, very low signature. So 43X, for me, I wish I would have never bought it. Wish I would have bought the standard 43. Back to the 22. If you guys haven't figured out, I like 22 long rifle. I've probably shot more rounds of 22 long rifle out in the woods than any other caliber. Been using them since I was, you know, whatever, 10, 12 years old, out running around the woods, squirrel hunting, stuff like that. This is the Smith & Wesson 22 Victory. Now this is a 22 long rifle pistol with a big bull barrel on it. And the reason that I wish I never would have bought this particular 22 pistol is because I would like to have bought one of these with a threaded barrel. All right. I have a suppressor for 22 caliber firearms, and I really wish I would have bought one of these with a threaded barrel, just to give me something light that I can holster, fairly concealable with the suppressor. You're getting a little long, but fairly concealable, much more than the Charger that we looked at earlier. But I would have been able to shoot this thing and it be nearly silent. That is why I wish I would have never bought this Smith & Wesson 22. Not a hit on this. 22 caliber pistols are a lot of fun. They don't have a lot of purpose. Now, if you're really good with them and you got the right sights and all this, you can take them out and try to hunt small game with them. Again, it's going to be tough, especially if you're trying to shoot a squirrel on the top of a big tree. But they're pretty daggone fun to get out and plink around on the range with. It's a great platform, again, to start a new shooter with, especially a new handgun shooter where you guys can work through the grip, trigger press, sight alignment, all that good stuff. This would be a great platform to do that. But for me, again, I wish I would have bought one with a threaded barrel. Something to consider when you're getting these, because it's really cool to just be able to maximize kind of the purpose of the 22 handgun, and in the fact that it's quiet and just super user-friendly and easy to shoot out on the range. While we're on 22, one last note, because this is the last 22 that we're going to be looking at today, especially with these pistols. I want you guys to understand there is a huge difference in terms of ammunition when it comes to 22 long rifle, all right? So if you're going to buy a 22 pistol like that, and you're thinking that you're going to get out and shoot this really cheap CCI target ammo out on the range, or God forbid, you're going to try to actually hunt and shoot something with this, you're going to be pretty frustrated, all right? A lot of this really cheap 22 ammo, it's not going to cycle right. The loads are just not loaded hot enough to make the firearm function properly. They're very, very inaccurate. It's difficult to hit much of anything, you know, out at any sort of distance with this really cheap ammo. So just a heads up, if you're going to get a 22 pistol, go ahead and get you some good quality ammunition, and you're going to have a lot better time, because you're going to have far fewer malfunctions and you're actually going to be able to hit what you're aiming at with something like this 22 Stinger right here versus this crappy target ammo that's going to just drive you crazy, because every 5th round you're going to be able to see the bullet coming out of the barrel, and it's not going to cycle the actual action of whatever 22 that you're using. So huge difference between 22 ammo. We're used to 5.56 and 9 mil and stuff like that, where basically you can just grab any old junk off the shelf and it's probably going to work fine. 22, it's not the case. Big, big difference. All right, the last firearm on the lineup right here that I wish I never would have bought is the Walther PDP. Now, you can say a lot of great things about the PDP, and this is the F series, which I think in some way it's got a smaller grip or something, I think, for people with smaller hands. There's a lot of great things you can say about the Walther PDP. Walther has really came out with some awesome handguns over the last few years. I mean, they've come pretty hot on the stage of the firearms market with their new designs and new handguns. But this particular pistol right here basically just lives in my safe, because the reality of it is, if I'm going to carry a pistol that's this size, this PDP right here, well, I'm going to throw it in my glove box, well, I'm going to carry it on my person. If I'm going to carry a pistol this size, this frame right here, I'm going to carry a Glock 19. All right. Again, I'm biased because I'm a Glock fan, but there's a few reasons for that. And let me explain that to you. One of the things I don't like about the PDP is it has a really big, I don't know, wide, it's almost, you could call it almost bulky slide. It doesn't look appealing to me. It also has a lot of hard edges on the slide, all right? A lot of really, I don't know if you want to call them sharp, but they're hard 90-degree edges around the surface of the slide. Now, those edges not only, to me, are not cosmetically appealing, but you're also going to get a lot of wear marks on those hard edges if you're carrying this in a holster or this is your everyday carry. That's just one of the hits on this. Another thing about the PDP, the sights on it, to me, are, I don't know, a little bit flimsy. I would have to change these sights out if I was going to carry this PDP for my everyday carry. Nonetheless, if I'm going to take a pistol this size, I'm going to take the Glock 19. Another reason is it's going to be much more difficult to find spare parts, to find holsters, and mainly holsters is the harder thing that's going to be to find for something like this PDP versus a Glock 19. That's one of the biggest advantages of the Glock 19 is parts, is upgrades, is holsters, accessories. Man, they're just so easy to find, even at your big box stores. If you need something for that firearms platform, that Glock 19, man, you're more than likely going to be able to get it, versus carrying, again, something like the PDP, more difficult to find. And yeah, to me, that's why I have a handful of Glock 19s, and that's why this pistol right here kind of just lives in my safe, because I'm not going to carry it. It just doesn't, at this size, in this configuration, to me, it's not as good of a platform as what I get with my Glock 19. So that's the PDP. Great functioning gun. They've done a great job with it, but they're trying to fill this gap in the firearms market with something that, in my opinion, is just not as good as what's already there to serve that purpose. So that's number 5 right there.